Hey magical sparks, welcome back to my channel. It's Sparkle here, and today's video is a special video to celebrate Women's Day. Yay! And today we're also going to be trying out some brand new markers. So the wonderful team at Ohuhu sent me their Ohuhu Kaala Landscape marker set, the 60 set, and today we're going to be unboxing, trying it out, and celebrating Women's Day. So the very first thing we have in the box is this little booklet about Ohuhu and about the Kaala series, and it's got a lot of cool information in it, and it talks about how the Kaala markers are kind of different from the other markers, and it's pretty cool. And then the next thing we have is this little printed swatch card of all the colors that come in this set. As you can tell, all these colors are beautiful, and this color specifically, this porcelain blue, just caught my eye the second I looked at it. And here is a mini swatch card for us to swatch our markers on, as well as a protective sheet to prevent bleed through, but more on that later. And then the next thing we have is our colorless blender. I really like how this set isn't 59 colored markers and one colorless blender. It's actually 60 markers and one colorless blender, which I think is really amazing. And now it's time for the moment we have all been waiting for, to see these wonderful markers, and here they are. By the way, while Ohuhu did kindly send me this marker set to try it on my channel, all opinions and thoughts that I'm going to be talking about today will be 100% my own, and honestly, if I just sound really enthusiastic, that's just because I think markers are amazing and I just love markers a lot. Also, this packaging just made me so happy because it just looks so tropical and pretty, but anyways, 100% honest. And now it's time to open it up. Oh my gosh, I just love the layers of packaging and how it's kind of like opening a mystery box. You open it bit by bit until you finally get to the markers, which look so amazing in their packaging. So when I opened this marker set, I was thinking probably the same thing you are thinking right now, and that was, how are these markers organized? I don't really see any kind of specific organization system, and I was a bit confused, but don't worry, once I start swatching, I am able to realize why, I think. Well, at least with the first section that I was swatching with. But I think it's time for me to show you what I realized. Or you know what, actually you guys can wait until I show you the clip where I realized what was going on, I think. By the way, I did actually recently purchase the Ohuhu Kaala skin tone markers, personally, and I tried them out on my channel as well, and I really like them, so you can check out that video as well if you're interested. But this is the second set I'm trying out of Kaala markers. I gotta say, for me so far, my favorite thing about these Kaala markers are just the nibs, because they're just so different and unique, and it's really easy to get different types of shapes with them, different line weights and everything, and I think that's really cool. Okay, this is really random, but something really cool I noticed when I was swatching was that actually all the markers in this first section are pretty much the colors that are here. So that way when you're swatching, it just becomes a whole heap easier. But anyways, back to the voiceover. So when I initially started swatching, I went in this kind of order, which kind of allowed me to realize that every marker in the first section kind of matched up with the first 3 rows in the swatch card. But afterwards, I just started jumping between the colors, so I'm not sure about the other 3 sections. But if that is the case, I think that is really cool and really helpful for when you're first swatching your markers, because you don't have to search too far for them. Anyways, here are the colors. I think they look really pretty. I'm not gonna lie, they look amazing. And of course, we have my favorite color there, porcelain blue, loving it. But my only concern as of now is that some of the nib colors don't really match the actual colors of the markers. For example, there's old red. There were other markers as well, but this one was the one that really confused me, because the thing is, if you don't have a swatch card near you, and if you're just coloring and you're using the color of the cap as a basis of what color you're going to use for your drawing, and if you pick out that color, old red for example, and start coloring only to realize it's way more darker than you wanted it to be, I feel that could potentially end up messing up your drawing. But of course, having your swatch card nearby, or just quickly swatching the marker at the corner of your paper, or just on a scratch piece of paper, would also help. But while they did do a great job on the whole, I think this is just a minor problem that I saw. Also, the swatch card doesn't really fit in the actual marker set, but the mini one does, so that's actually kind of convenient. But with the big one, you might just have to carry it around. Also, here is my skin tone Kaala set, and here is my older Ohuhu set that I got, and these 2 colors are pretty similar, so I thought I might compare them. So that's how the barrels look, the caps, the nibs, and everything. But just keep in mind that 2 things. One, this marker is quite old, and secondly, it's a brush marker, so obviously the design will be different from the Kaala markers. but that's the comparison. And now it's time to grab out my sketchbook and start some testing. And also in the past, when I've used alcohol-based markers on paper, sometimes it bleeds through like this. Well, most of the time it does. So that's when this sheet comes in, because when you put it under the piece of paper you're coloring on, it acts kind of like a protective sheet to stop the ink from bleeding onto the page underneath. So in my opinion, these protective plastic sheets have a very important role to play, and they are quite helpful as well. So here I'm just testing out different ways I can use the marker. As you can tell, there's like a lot of ways you can use it, and it works really well in my opinion. But if you are someone who likes brush markers do have like a bit more of a flexibility about them, because obviously they're like shaped like a brush and they're a bit more softer. But it really depends on what your art style is and what you like to color in and how big of spaces you like to fill and stuff. For me, I think I like brush markers when it comes to blending, but these Kaala markers aren't just like any ordinary chisel tip markers. They're just like a bit more fancier, and they kind of just do a really better job at blending as well. So it's honestly just hard to decide. Okay, by the way, the blending I was doing here was my fault. I kind of assumed that the green would blend with the yellow, but it really didn't blend through well because, I mean, they're not that similar. So I decided to bring in like a middle color, and that kind of helped the two colors blend. But here's a better example. So pink and purple do a better job of blending into each other, and as you can tell, it is quite seamless. But with the yellow and green before, that was kind of my fault because I could have chosen the colors just a bit more closer. And these blues also blend in quite well too. And now the next thing I want to show you guys is how the chisel nib works. I mean, it works like a chisel nib. It works really nice and fine. And now I'm doing like a mini opacity test just to see how dark the markers are. And that's pretty much all the testing I wanted to get done. And I was just shocked by how well this marker set fit on my desk. I think it's just perfect. Alright, and with that, now it's time for a very quick mini drawing of my best friend, my little angel, my little baby June. And we're going to be drawing him like just really quickly, and then we're going to be starting the main drawing of today's video, where I'm going to be talking more about Women's Day. But right now, I just want to quickly talk about these markers. I'm not really going to go into pros and cons because I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've been using Ohuhu markers for quite a long time now, a couple of years, and I honestly say the same thing every time I review them because I love Ohuhu markers. They're really good and they work really well. They blend really well. The colors are amazing, and I just like it. And because of that, today I'm going to be talking to you guys about some other things, including the price of these markers, the features of these markers, and just what I personally think of them. So, starting it off with the price. Okay, so I live in Australia, and on Amazon Australia, these markers are currently retailing for $58.99, which is AUD. And I also went over to the Ohuhu website, and over there it says $34. But the thing is that I'm not sure if this is AUD or USD or a different type of currency, and I'm not sure which set this is specifically for because it says Ohuhu Kaala 4-tone slim, broad, and fine dual tip alcohol marker, so I'm not completely sure, but that's the pricing. And in terms of features, I was looking at the Ohuhu website yet again, and it kind of mentions the difference between the Kaala markers and the other markers, which I'll put on screen now. And as you can tell, there is quite a difference. And the last thing I wanted to talk about was my opinion on these markers. So personally, I think that I love these markers. They are really amazing. I think my only concern would mainly be that the cap colors don't accurately match the colors that the markers are when you are using them on paper. And that's pretty much the only con I can think of from the top of my head, as well as how the swatch card, the bigger one, doesn't actually fit inside the box. But other than that, I like it a lot. I love the packaging especially, and the marker selection. The colors are great in my opinion for, you know, a landscape set, but I would like to see maybe more pinks and more oranges, like a specific orange color, but I love it other than that. Also, if you're wondering why Mr. June looks so different, it's pretty much because he got a haircut, but trust me, if you guys have seen his old photos, he is literally a floofball. Okay, so now we've got all these amazing colors, and I think it is time to start drawing. So let's get the paper out. This is the thickest paper that I've got on hand currently, and it is a 4-heavy drawing paper with 220 GSM, so it is quite thick, and from what I remember, it works really well with markers. So let's try it out. As you can tell, the paper is like really thick, like just look at that, it's like cardboard almost. Just gonna take her out. Alright, and now let's get on to the Women's Day aspect of this video. So the main theme for this video with Ohuhu that I'm working with is Women's Day. So this is like not sponsored or anything, but the main idea is Women's Day, and this is a photo of my mom and I that we took when I was just, I think, a couple of months old. I'm not going to show you the actual photo because of privacy reasons, but that's the blurred version. That's pretty much what we're working with. But don't worry, you can kind of use my drawing to visualize how the scene probably looked. And so Ohuhu is aiming to celebrate the strength, creativity, and power of women through art. And this year, their Women's Day campaign will center around the theme of art, her power, her art, her voice, her Ohuhu. So they invited me to create a drawing video that showcases my art style and embraces the theme of Women's Day. They gave me a couple of options to choose from, and the one that I went with was drawing my female inspiration, which was someone who has influenced me and just, had a major impact on my life. And the first person that came to mind was obviously my mom, so we're drawing her today. And later on in this video, I'm also going to be giving you guys a really brief statement about art and how much it has impacted my life and inspired me, and stay tuned for that. So before that, Women's Day and my mom. So I don't think anyone can disagree. Mothers are the best, mothers are amazing, and sometimes we just don't recognize them for how amazing they are. And I think that sometimes we just kind of forget as well about the simple things, and we just take things for granted. We're like, you know what, it's fine. We'll tell them that I love them tomorrow. I'll tell them next Mother's Day. I'll tell them on their birthday and stuff. But the thing is, I feel like mothers are just so underestimated, and we know how amazing they are, but we just fail to show them how much we value them sometimes. And it's crazy to think about, mothers are just they're kind of like gods. What? We need to start to pay more attention to them. We need to start to show them more love and more care. It's really easy to drift apart, but we need to start showing love and coming back together. My mom has always been a humongous part of my life. She's had a really major, significant impact in my life, and not just in my life, but just in every aspect of everything that I know of, even YouTube as well. I'm going to be honest with you guys. There was a point in my YouTube journey, I think when I was about around 75 subscribers, where I really just wanted to give up. I felt like this was going nowhere. I just wanted to stop posting videos. I just wanted to give up and just draw for fun and just focus on my studies and stuff. And no one really said anything. Everyone was like, you know what? Yeah, sure. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. But my mom, she was literally a hero to me then. She told me you know what? No, you can't be a quitter. You can't give up. You can get through this. You can do this. You are going to grow so much in the future. You love making art. Don't stop posting videos. You like making videos. You like posting videos. Don't stop doing it just because you feel like you're not getting views or likes or subscribers. Don't worry about any of that. I'm here for you. I will support you the entire way through. And oh my gosh, she did everything for me. She was my moral support. She was my life coach. And even just getting a tripod, getting ring lights, I never asked for any of that. I never went to my parents and asked them can I get a ring light? My mom literally ordered it online for me, and she was like, surprise, here's a ring light. And it's crazy. There is just so much that goes on behind the scenes of everyone's lives, and behind everyone's success, there will be someone important. There will be their mother. By the way, while I was previously referring to my mother, we are promoting inclusivity here, and this person doesn't have to be biologically related to you. This person can also be a he or a them, and I'm just really referring to someone who cares about you. And in my case, that was my mother. And what I was saying was pretty much I would not be where I am today without her. And sometimes I think not just me, but I think everyone really just needs to take some time to recognize how much effort and love and attention and care our mothers provide us with. And I think we just need to sit down and sometimes just appreciate them and tell them how much we appreciate them, because it'll mean the world to them. It'll literally mean more than anything to them. I'm not even kidding. When I record a voiceover, I have to stop 5 times and retake it 10 times. But I just said that entire thing all together and with minimal breaks. And I guess that's just how you feel when you're talking about something you're passionate about and when you're talking about those who you love. Anyways, that is my story, and that is why my mom is the biggest inspiration, the biggest influence, the biggest hero of my life, and that is who my hero is. Let me know who your hero is in the comments as well. I'd love to hear. And the second thing I wanted to talk to you guys about was a mini statement. So Ohuhu did ask me if I could share a short statement about the significance of art in my life and how it has impacted me to inspire other young women artists. And here it goes. Art was one of those things which I used to love growing up, but started to fear as I got older because of how the world around me had started to judge every line that I drew. But one of the biggest things I've learned is that you should never let anyone stop you from doing what you love. You'll always have someone to hold your back, and it's more important than anything for you to be your voice and follow your dreams. For if I hadn't done so, I never would have unlocked the magic of art, and I never would have been able to share with you guys the art that I'm sharing with you today. Clearly that's a bit more than 2 sentences, but I think it works. And also the main ideas, the thing is, like when I was young, I used to feel so under pressure by society and how I thought society viewed art, and I had this assumption for some reason that everyone only valued art that was realistic, and because of that I stopped myself from drawing more cartoonish drawings, which was unfortunate because I loved making cartoonish drawings and it was honestly kind of upsetting. But then I just started to forget what society was kind of putting on me, the pressure society was putting on me, and I started to be myself and I started to draw what I wanted, and here I am today doing what I love and being able to share it with you guys, being able to share it with the world. It's honestly such a blessing. And that's my message for you today. Be your voice, speak up for yourself, and do what you love. I believe in you. And by the way, this drawing, I did modify some things like how my dress looks as well as my mom's scarf, because you couldn't really see it in the actual photo. But other than that, everything else is pretty much the same. Oh, and also the butterflies are an addition that I added just to bring the colors of the drawing together closer. And why were my hands like that? It was so hard for me to draw my chubby little fingers. Like, I'm not complaining that they were chubby. I think that's kind of cute. I'm just complaining about the way I was holding my hand because it took me a couple of tries so I could get that looking right. And anyways, that is the final drawing for today. I hope you guys liked this video. It's definitely a bit more different than normal, but I had a lot of fun doing this voiceover and making the drawings and editing this video. And thanks again to Ohuhu for sending me your markers for free to try out. I had a great time using them. And anyways guys, that's it for today. I hope you guys all have a fabulous day. Stay awesome as always, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And if you really just want to watch me pack up my markers, then feel free to stay until the end. But otherwise, I'll see you guys in my next video. Adios! Hey you, yeah, you. You're still watching? Oh, you're amazing! Thanks for watching! Anyway, see you next time. Bye!